Or they try to.
Welcome to the segment of the Pittsburgh Business Virgin. My name is Brad Hilbert, president of 3 Rivers Wealth Management Group and host of the Pittsburgh Business Virgin, here with my trusty cohort.
Who do you call me this time?
Yeah, something different every time. Nick Cortazzo of 3 Rivers Wealth Management Group. And we're really lucky to have today the one and only Jim Kapp, CEO of Kapp Communications, which is really one of the leading communication firms in the Pittsburgh area and been around, believe it or not, since 1984, right. Which is a considerable amount of time, over 25 years at this point. Jim, I wanted to start out and just sort of ask you, give us some background on how Kapp Communications became a reality, because it's not your first rodeo, right?
Right.
And just kind of give us a flavor for how you made it a success and where'd you come from and all that good stuff. Because I know you're in business with your brother Bob and your beautiful daughter here, Christina, who's off camera, making sure I behave myself and take care of her dad. So give us some background.
Yeah, well, basically, we're a family-run business. I started it myself in 1984. But like Brad and I was talking about before, in 1978, I had an electrical business, and really Kapp Communications is my third try. So I failed business twice.
That's important.
To get
People
here.
need to hear that.
Yeah, in 78, it was Kapp Electric. So we went through like a recession from hell there. Around I think it was 82.
Oh, yeah, 81, 82.
Do you remember that recession?
Yeah, real bad.
So I was forced to get a job. There was just no work. So I went into the telephone business at D'Agostino Electronics. But actually, they hired me as an electrician, and they said, do you want to learn telephones? And I'm like, this should be easy. It's two wires and a little
I can work a phone.
in the wall.
They're small wires, too.
It's not a big deal. Yeah, I'll try that. So
can't fry yourself. It's low voltage, right?
Yeah. So started there, stayed there for 2 years, was a technician. And
hated working for someone else, didn't you?
I just hated work. It's something in my gut said, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
And I couldn't put my finger on it right away, but it was like I liked the people I was with. They were great people. But I just hated the fact that, like, my boss would tell me something to do, and I think there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And but they won't. But they say you're doing it my way.
Yeah.
It's my way or the highway,
as
right?
the old saying goes. That's right.
Yeah.
So you took the highway.
I took the highway. Yeah.
Next exit.
After a couple years, but I learned a lot from that. And actually, my boss, Frank Lamatia, is now our operations manager. I hired him, and he's been with us 22 years now, too.
So what's neat about your story, one of the key learnings for anybody watching this segment and why they should watch the next 4 segments is that it wasn't your first rodeo. You failed several times before this.
Right.
And we always hear they're running those commercials about, Lincoln, he lost this, he went bankrupt, blah, blah. And then they say, by the way, this is Abraham Lincoln, right? Yeah. So perseverance, I think, is a huge lesson here.
Right.
But then the other interesting thing when we were talking about this segment was you started Kapp Communications with a $5,000 loan. So everybody who's out there, it doesn't sound like a lot, but back then that was quite a bit of money, right?
Yes, it was, yeah.
And what was the interest rate?
21%.
21%.
I'll never forget that.
$5,000 loan, 5-year loan, during one of the worst recessions the country's seen.
And to boot, it was 1984 when AT&T and was it Bell Telephone at the time? They broke up. Everybody was confused. It was the worst year to start a telephone company. Absolutely.
Yet here you are today.
Yeah. And I can say, there was at least, I was telling Chrissy this morning, 100 times where we didn't make payroll. We've always made payroll, but it was like barely.
Yeah.
You know,
But you were walking into her bedroom and grabbing her piggy bank, and she was wondering why.
oh yeah,
right?
yeah, or going to clients
Stealing
and
from
saying,
Peter to pay Paul.
if you don't pay me now, I can't continue to help you.
Yeah.
I need you to pay me early.
What's kind of funny? How long has Christina been working for you now?
Oh, what, 8 years?
8
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
8 years. When she was a kid growing up, you used to say to her, "You don't get it. You don't understand." Does she get it and understand more now?
Oh, Chrissy has a great business sense. She does.
Because I say I got young boys, and I always say to them, they like tomorrow night I leave for New York, and they go, "Why are you leaving for New York for 2 days? Why do you?" I go, "Because you know that," and we were shooting rockets last night. I go, you know that rocket we just shot? Yeah. Someone has to pay for that.
Yeah.
That's why Daddy's going to New York tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You want more rockets? Yeah. Okay. Dad's
Right.
hitting the road for a couple of days to go see some referrals up there.
Somebody got to pay the bills. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're gonna cut out of this segment, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about you starting up, what advice you have for someone looking to start up a business, and website.
www.kapp.com. Check out
Kapp.com. Absolutely. And we'll be right back with Jim.